Yeah. So today we'll be talking about Nexus repository. We'll see, like what is Nexus repository, why we need it exactly, and of course how to use it. So let's start. See, what we did so far is okay. We worked on the code, okay, which is fine, and we have tested it with Sonar Cube. Okay, that is also fine. Once the test is done, we have built the code using Maven. So now the code is ready. I mean the build is ready to be deployed. So all these comes under, as I mentioned, right? Remember CI part, CI, continuous integration part. Okay, now build is ready. What's next? We need to deploy it, right? Obviously, that's what we need to do. But before deploying, there is one small step which we need to do. What is that small step? Is see in a company, let's say there is a team who are working on application. Of course, there will be multiple developers, not just one developer, right? So together as a team, they'll be working. So everyone working on their own things. So now I'm a developer, and I have built the artifact. I mean, let's say Maven project. Let's take it example as a Maven project. So I built artifact and everything, which is fine. And since we are working as a team, we are dependent on each other. Let's say the artifact I built needed by the developer, other developer, or let's say other developer worked on something which I need the artifact. So at that time, what you do? You share it. You cannot share it every time. You just can't share in mail or team something like that, which is not possible. Instead of that, we'll have something, a common place where we store the artifacts, and everyone can able to pull that from there. See why we use GitHub. We use GitHub because we manage the source code. The versioning it can be, or accessing, so that it is accessible for everyone because it's in a common place. Similar way here, artifactory we call it, or repository manager we call it. He this also this whatever the Nexus tool also is a repository, a common place to store the artifacts. So, but it won't store the code. It will store the builds and packages whatever we have. See, I told dependencies, right? I told like it will download from central repository. Every time we do mvn clean install, whatever it is, mvn install like that. So instead of downloading from internet, why can't we have our own repository where we store all the dependencies over there and just pull from there? It will be easy, right? It's like a common place we need to use within our organization. So that's why we use a concept called artifactory. Artifactory is nothing but a repository, or we can say it a common place where we store our artifacts, our dependencies, and everything. Got it? So what happens is this also is versioned. I mean, let's say you based on what you define the name, it will store as a versions. Let's say I uploaded a 1.0.var, so as an example, let's say next time 1.1.var, 1.2.var, like that you will upload different versions, so that similarly as a GitHub, if you want the old version of artifact, you can just download it and you can use it like that. Simple as that. So What is artifact? That's the main thing actually. It's nothing but a storage where we store our dependencies on artifacts. As I told you, don't confused about artifacts. We call these packages, we build right with the Maven .var package last time I think. So those we call artifacts. 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 So we call it artifact. Don't get confused. Artifact, or you can call package also, which is also fine. But just know that they'll call it artifact also. So don't get confused like it's a new thing, artifact or something like that. We all are saying artifact, package, all are same. Nothing really. So it's fine. So yeah, Nexus repository will use for to store these artifacts, or I mean or packages, as well as dependencies, as I mentioned in the last class. We'll store all these things, and whenever we want, we'll just pull it and we run it. Like let's say one of the example I already told you, right? Instead of going to Maven central repository every time, we just simply download from our own repository, which is running within our organization, within our company network, with which maintained by us only. So you don't need to go to internet every time. And of course, we can able to upload multiple versions of dependencies, multiple versions of artifacts. I mean the packages. All we have to do is set up this create repository similar to how we create in GitHub. As I told you, right? It's same thing. Nexus is similar to GitHub only, except GitHub stores code, Nexus stores dependencies and artifacts. That's the thing. That's the difference. The way it stores, I mean, its stores are different. The how what it stores are different. That's it. But the base, concept is same. It will be used to store the artifacts so that everyone can access it. Got it? So similar to artifact, there is something other tool called JFrog. JFrog. This is also very same tool. I mean nothing will change. Same tool, same thing. So if let's say company is working on Java project, they will use either JFrog or Nexus, anything whichever is there available. As I told you, either this or that. There are only two, either this or that, whichever it is. Both are same. Both are same. You don't worry about it. Okay, JFrog is in Bangalore. Okay, I did not know that. It's okay. So anything today we'll see Nexus. That's it. If you know how to install this Nexus, a similar approach you can install JFrog also, which is completely fine. There's no difference, as I told you, right? It's from different organizations, different companies. That's it. Both has paid enterprise versions. I mean, it means we can pay and we can able to use it. Multiple features will come over there. But now we cannot pay, so we'll be using open source one. Got it? So first, these are types of repositories which have only two. Sorry, and now why we use Nexus, right? Let's log into our server. Oh, sorry, my bad. Obviously, this is our Maven project. Okay, there is a target already, I don't want it. Let's clean it. Yeah, done. Now, of course, I'll build it MVN install. It will build, which is fine. So that's what we have already seen. Sorry. Now, how? Okay. Now I built it. This is in this machine only. This whatever the package. I mean, whatever the artifact I built. How it will go to Nexus. So that's the configuration we have to do. First, we have to install the Nexus. So Nexus should be running. Again, Nexus also depends on Java because it's developed in Java and for Java it is. So Nexus is required. Java is required for Nexus. Once the Java is already there, so we have to install Nexus, and then we have to integrate Nexus with Maven. How we did integrate SonarQube with Maven, remember, right? Just like settings.xml we configured, and MVN colon sonar we did. Similar way here also we need to integrate, and then when we do, I mean, how we upload it to the Nexus, you have to do MVN deploy, as I told you. If the artifact whatever we built has to go somewhere, or to store somewhere, or has to deploy somewhere, we will use MVN deploy. In our case, it will push someone, or it will upload, you can say, the artifact to Nexus repository. It won't deploy, it will deploy means it will upload to the artifact. Deploy maybe tomorrow, we'll see that in tomorrow or Wednesday or something like that. But yeah, today, I mean, and in this class we'll see installation of Nexus and how to integrate with Maven and push it. Let's see if that we can cover all those things. But before that, yeah, let's go to our local repository. As I told you, Maven has a local repository where it will store everything. Mm, Whenever you do MVN install, I mean, which one? Open anything. Why I came here to show you is, see, these are all the path of dependency. I don't know what this do. I mean, we don't really know, no need to know this, but why I came here is observe.jar files here. See, I'm telling you, like, okay, the project need dependency, so that we'll add in pom.xml, correct? So it will download. How it looks like, the dependency, how it looks like is .jar file. I just want to show you. .jar file. Don't get confused. Some developer writes, I need a jar file means either he is talking about a dependency or the artifact, whatever they built for the application. So, see, dependencies will be like this .jar and all. Your application artifact .jar, either .var, .year, any of this it will be. Don't worry about all those. So only these three extensions Java core will be built. Any of these three depends on what they have configured in pom.xml. I think for us it will be var, if you remember, because we have where is it? Sorry, what the hell? So I think we have what is it? Var with some version, whatever the version they're doing. My keyboard is not working, so I have to go like this. So yeah, see, packaging var, and of course 3.1.0, something like that. So why I'm saying is, don't get confused, for these things. They are like that. Plugins or dependencies, it will be .jar only by default. Got it? And what else? Application whatever they built with this one, with Maven or something like that. It will be like dot var dot jar or dot er enterprise archive or e. Let's say dot jar means Java archive, the full form. And what else? This one, if it is like dot var web archive, dot er means enterprise archive. It will just depends on types of application they are developing. They'll do that. We don't decide that. They'll only decide it. I told you, we just built it through pipelines. That also we'll see next maybe upcoming classes. But yeah, that's what we do. So today now our main project is ready. Let's install Nexus and let's see what happens. So how to install Nexus? Of course, the first requirement is Java. It's already there. Next, we have to download the package again. So we have to download it like a zip file, I think, or tar file. We have to download. See, download community edition. Nexus Pro. It's a paid. I mean, I don't. We can't do that. We need community edition. What the hell? Why we need all these things? Let's download for free. It's asking for the hell. Let's try somewhere else. Yeah, see here. Instead of going here, if you scroll down a little, you can see Unix 64-bit. This is what. Let's click on this. Okay, it's working. So now I'll just copy this link. Let's come to our thing. Go to OPT, same thing. Just keep everything, every third party software, whatever you are installing in Linux machine, keep it in OPT only. What the hell? Permission denied. Okay. Sudo. My bad. So it's downloading, obviously. Is it ready? Yes, Nexus. Ports on ATM. So now it's ready. Of course, untar it, obviously. Of permission I need, obviously. I forgot. Okay, Nexus is ready. Where is this? Nexus 3 point something is there. See, let's change the name Nexus to just Nexus. So now Nexus is ready. Got it? Again, similar to SonarQube, Nexus also has to run as normal user. Root user cannot run Nexus. So first what we have to do, change the ownership. Hope you can see my screen, I mean this font size and everything. So Ubuntu is a normal user in my case. It depends on what you are using. You can create a new user and you can assign, like you can create like, let's say, next user called Nexus or something else, and you can use it. That also fine. I mean, I already have Ubuntu normal users, so that's why I'm using it. So I will change it. Sorry. Let's go inside Nexus. What is there? It will be same structure as SonarQube. So there will be bin etc jdk. Jdk we don't care about. I mean it's a Java thing. So next let's go to etc where our configuration exists. See, nexus.default.properties is the main configuration file. Let's This is the default configuration file. By default the port is 8081 Nexus port number, default port. Of course, Nexus, how to access it? We can access everywhere because it's 0.0.0.0. As I told you, in SonarCube also similar option we have, which we will do. I mean, currently we just gave 0 like this, but if it in organizations, we don't give 0.0.0. We'll give some network ID, network path will be there. So that will give. You don't give. I mean, IT will give that, and you have to use it in Nexus. And of course, path how you want to access it. Slash Nexus slash whatever it is. By default, yeah, slash is fine. Why to unnecessarily have it? That's the only thing in configuration we have. Now there is one more thing. Let's go to bin. What else in bin? See Nexus. This is file which we need to use to run Nexus. And see the jar file. What is it? It came with the package. No, we did not download it. As I told you, it developed in Java. They have built .jar file so that we can able to use it. That's the thing. Open Nexus. This is it. This we don't change anything here except one line. There is something called run as user. This one. Or there another thing? Run. Yeah. Oh, there is only one thing. Run as user. Here by default there is an empty. Now you have to give the normal username here. Otherwise it will take root. Of course you can run as a runner user which will take it by default, but just to make sure give the normal user here. That's it, and save it. Done. That's it. Installation is done. Now we have to start it. That's it. But here one thing is, make sure, as I told you, once you download in and once to extract it is, you have to run as a normal user, as I told you, right? So to run this, two things are done. One thing, change the ownership, obviously, which we did, and in the bin, the Nexus executable file is there. Nexus executable file we call it because we are running Nexus with that. That's why. In that there is a parameter called run as user. So that run as user has to be changed to normal user. Whoever you give permission ownership here, that user you have to use there, not a different user. See, this user have permission. You give permission next to Nexus folder to this user. In this Nexus file, you give some other user. Let's say, how can this guy access it? So both has to be same user. Whoever you give access to, they should run the Nexus as that user. So you have to give like that. That's the only thing. In SonarCube, we just give the ownership. That's it. In SonarCube, also earlier, I mean not in recently, earlier versions, there is something called like this, run as user, but they removed it. They removed that thing. So new versions, I think after 8 or something, there is no run as user option in SonarCube. Earlier, it used to be there. Same steps we have to do over there also, but not now. Yeah, it's fine. So now we have to run it, right? Sorry. Nexus. See these parameters. Start, stop, run, blah blah blah. Status. Let's see the status. What is it? There is something issue. 155 line number. Where is that? Even the default file. Okay. Let's try to start. Not found. There is some error in the script. I don't know what the hell. Wait. We did not change anything. This is not our thing. Let's come. Mhm. Some syntax error, it seems. See, in the default itself, there is a syntax error. See, what else? What's here? Not found or something? What is it? Let's Google it. Not, or let's try like this only. Some compatibility issues with the shell, it seems. Mhm. Okay, this is not Mac. I'm running. Yeah, it's a Linux machine only. There is some compatibility issue, obviously. So we might need to download the old version, I guess. See? But the shell is different. Nexus built it different. See? Let's go to first line. Change the shell. The default is taking SH. In SH, this parameter is not supported, it seems. That's why I changed it to bin bash. Come on. Let's see whether it works or not now. See the error gone. Now start it. Nothing really. I mean, the script, it came by default and it is using shell bin bash, sorry, bin sh, not the bash shell. So I just changed it because in sh shell it not supported, it seems. That's what I mentioned. See, always know how to Google it, how to search for your issue. Don't ask for anyone. Okay. So now let's start it. Let's start. Permission denied. What the hell? I gave full permission. Haven't I? I gave it. Let's see. Yeah, Ubuntu it is. Oh, sorry, my bad. When you extract, I told you already, you download the Nexus tar file, right? When you extract, you'll get two directories. One is Nexus, we changed the folder name, and another is called Sona type work. See here, Sona type work. This the folder also will be created by default. You don't do anything. It will store the log and everything. We have to change the ownership to this also. I forgot. Sorry. Obviously sudo ch1 -r. So one is Nexus. Sorry. Ubuntu group is also Ubuntu. Nexus folder you have to give as well as Sona type. Now let's start. Starting Nexus. See, it started. Just a very minor permission denied. It will take some time, don't worry. So now 8081 port we need to use. Let's see if I allowed in the firewall or not. No, obviously. It's a default port number. Of course, this server IP. Copy it, paste 8081. See, it started. It's running. In the background, it's running, it seems. See. This is the Nexus. Let's see the status. It's not okay. It will take some time. It's okay. But see, it's running. This is what we have installed. 8081 port number Nexus. This is what. This is how it looks like. See. And we have to log in. I haven't logged in. We have to log in. What is the default? See, default user is admin. Password he's saying here. Your admin user password located in OPT sonar this path on the server. Let's copy the path or simply go there. That is also fine. So not Nexus. Where it will be? I think in Nexus 3. There is something. What else here? Nexus 3 admin dot password. There will be a file admin dot password. See, open it. This is the default password. Default password for admin user. Obviously paste it. It will ask you to change the password, which is fine. Blah 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 blah. A new password. See. Which is fine. You have to give it. These are these normal things. It's saying anonymous access. What does that mean is, remember, we can able to open see Nexus without even login also earlier. I mean, before this. By default, for everyone, it will give read access. Whoever know this URL, they can able to open it. It's asking us, do you want to continue like that or do you want to disable? I want to disable it, of course. Why would I want to do that? Finish. Now log out. Now we can't see anything. Earlier you to see something here. Now we can't see anything. These are default Nexus things. Nothing, not a personal data or something. Only if you log in now. So now we can able to see things. Of course, settings. Lots of settings here. On the left side home, you will see browse. Browsing means these are all the repositories it has. These are all the repositories it has. We'll see all those. See, there is something called Maven repositories. You will see all those, don't worry. If you go to settings, repositories, again you will see here repositories only. But what else? But here in the browse, you can go inside a repo. You will see the artifacts, whatever they are storing, the dependencies and everything. But if you want to manage a repository, let's say you want to delete a repository, there is no option here. Nothing here in the browse. Browse is just for browsing to see what's inside a repo. Let's say you can go to anything. Let's say here, see nothing. So settings. If you go to repositories, these are repository settings. Whether to delete it, configure it or not, like this. Like this. See, to manage it. Got it. Routing policies, cleaning policies. I mean, we'll see it. Don't worry. These are also important. And what else here? These are all fine. Not really. And security is the important thing, obviously, where you'll define users roles, privileges and everything. Of course, as told you, LDAP, when you join organization, they'll create a user ID for you, user mail for you. Like every user information will be stored in one server. So that we will be using for login and everything. We'll integrate that into our tools and we'll log in. Like for example, not in Maven, it's just a build tool. There's nothing to log in over there, right? And here what happens is like which tool I forgot that Sonar, sorry, Sonar, or and GitHub also they'll configure, as well as like here Nexus also they'll just integrate that LDAP server and use it. Of course, we don't have LDAP server, which is fine. And what else? This also, I mean, we can't see LDAP, but of course we can. By now we will figure out. I mean, creating a roles, creating users. But yeah, we'll see that one more time. Nothing. So we'll see all these things. We can. If you want to create a repository, also you have to come here in the repository. See here, create repository. But in the browse, you cannot see any option. Browse is just to see it, just to see the repositories and the data, whatever inside it. Got it? Let's create a repository. Create repository. It will ask, see, so many things are there. What are all these things? These are the repository, different types of repositories available in Nexus. There are so many. NPM it seems something, Maven 2 it seems. Docker, Go, Helm, blah 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 blah. We don't care all these things. What we need so far. See APT repository also there. What will store in APT repository? Just the the packages. Whatever .deb packages, .rpm package that will store here. See Nexus or JFrog also supports everything. I mean except code. I mean you cannot store the code. The dependencies, whatever, everything you can able to store. These are all the types of repositories available. Out of these, we are working on Maven, right? Again, if you observe here, let's take Maven. You see three repositories. Let's take this npm something. Three repositories. Group hosted proxy. Let's take anything, let's say raw group hosted proxy. These are models, I mean, types of available in the market. But what are these group hosted and proxy? These are the types of repositories which Nexus is providing you. Simple again. Proxy, I mean, it's proxying something else. Imagine you have a remote repository, you have a repository somewhere, mm, maybe on the internet or something. Instead of accessing directly, that repository, whichever is on the internet, you'll create a proxy here. You'll create a proxy repository here. Through this proxy, it will connect to that. So now let's say maybe developers are connecting to that repository which is present in the internet. Let's take example, MVN Central repository. It's on the internet, right? It's on the internet. And of course, developer have to use that to download and everything. Instead of going to internet directly, we can just create a proxy repository here. Let's say Maven proxy repository. Where is it? Maven proxy repository. Yeah, only one Maven is the Maven proxy repository. And give the original repository, I mean central repository URL inside it. Let's go. Of course, name whatever you can give, version policy, whatever, it's fine. I'll tell you what are this release and snapshot. And if you see here, remote storage. See, example also they gave, see. So it will proxy all the requests from here to there. Got it? That's what it will do. Proxy repository. And there is one more, of course, discard. One more repository called hosted. Hosted is where we create it and we maintain it. We push our artifacts into this, or dependencies into this, obviously. Got it? So by default, what our idea is, we want to store our artifacts in Nexus. At the time, we have to use Maven hosted repository. Maven hosted repository. Let's give some name, maybe. What else? Java app. As an example, I'm just giving. Release. I'll tell you what is this in a few seconds. Don't worry. And that's it. Deployment policy. So this is what we have to do is, by default they'll disable redeploy. What it does exactly, because let's say, as I told you, right, Nexus will store as a versions, like current version is 1.1, it will store it, next version is 1.2, it will store it. But let's say user forgot to update the version in the pom.x symbol, he's just using old version only. At the time, what happens is Nexus will throw error, hey, this version is already there in the Nexus, don't push it again, like that. So disable redeploy will do that. So just keep it disabled by default. Got it? Now save it. Our repository is created. See, Java app. That's it. URL will be there here. You can just copy the URL, see, and you have to use it to push it. But it's okay. We'll do it. So don't worry. Maybe or tomorrow. But for now, we'll just try to do here. So yeah, there is create a repository. Hosted, we have seen. Proxy, we have seen. What is group then? Same thing. Creating a group repository with other multiple repositories. So imagine now, I told proxy. So proxy means it will go through our repository to the internet, and do whatever it wants, download or something. And hosted is where For us, we'll create it. I mean, we'll store our own artifacts and everything. But in our case, we want two, right? We want both. We want to use our own repositories, and if we cannot find, if Maven cannot find the repositories in our in our dependencies, sorry, in our repository, it has to go to internet. Instead of, what we can do is we can create a group repository with hosted repository and the proxy repository. So what happens is, it will use both. As let's say group repository I created, some name whatever it is, see, combining multiple repositories as a group. Now this group repository will have one URL where you can able to use that. So it's just like, we are creating a repository, a group repository where it has a proxy repository as well as hosted repository. Got it? That's how a group repository works. I mean, works means we just create it, we use it, that's it. If it is required, yeah, if it is required to go to proxy repository to the internet, it will go there. If it is required, if the dependency, whatever the plugin or whatever the artifact found within your hosted repository, so download from there. So it will have both things like that. So all we have to do is create repositories and use it. Use it where? In our code to push it. So now we just created a repository. There is no communication between this Nexus repository and Maven tool, right? There is nothing, obviously. All we have to do is set up that communication. Got it? Let me just go to users. Admin user is ours. Let's change the password. Yeah, password changed. So first we have to do is integration with Nexus as Maven. Let it running. It's fine. Before integrating, I told you, tell you something called. Let's say I'm creating a repository. It is asking me, let's say, hosted, anything, whatever, take anything. Sorry, not hosted. Maven hosted. Where is Maven? Yum. Yeah. It's asking for version. What is this version? Release, snapshot, mixed. See, usually what happens is, in the pom.xml, we have version, right? Some, let's say, what is the version? Sorry. Version is 3.1.0 hyphen release is there. What is that? There will be some more version, something called snapshot also. Instead of release, there will be snapshot. That is also fine. What happens is, these names are very important actually, release and snapshot. Release means this is a stable fixed version, which will use it to deploy, let's say, to deploy to our server or to be used by everyone like that. It's not commonly changed. A snapshot is where we change it every day. Snapshot is like a work in progress version. See, today I'm writing some code. I'll keep it 1.0 snapshot. Tomorrow I'll work on update something else. Continuously we'll be developing the code, right? Every day we'll be working on the code and project. We cannot finish in a single day, right? So every time when I make some change, of course we'll be testing and everything until it's finalized, until it's ready. We'll use snapshot only, not release. Here we'll use snapshot. We'll try, we'll see, don't worry, all those things. We'll test also. We'll use snapshot. So once development is done, testing is done, then we'll keep it released like this and we'll build it. That build, whatever with release we built, we will deploy that. So the difference between snapshot and release. When we are working, when we are developing, we'll use snapshots. So that we'll know where are we based on the versions and snapshot versions, and we'll push it. And when development is done, it is ready to be deployed, at the time we'll use release. By default here it's release, but we don't use that. Let's keep it snapshot always. Maybe let's start with the 1.0 or 0.0 also fine. Capital snapshot or capital release only, not small. So this is what snapshot and release about. And here what it's asking is, what type of artifacts you'll store here, release artifacts or snapshot one, depends on the whatever you gave. You have to select that. Let's say you want to store release artifacts, you have to select release. And all the release artifacts means, if you have release, it will build the artifact, right? It means it's a release artifact. When you push it, it will come to this repository. When it's snapshot, all the snapshots will come to here. I have one, right? I just created one. I don't know which, forgot. Okay, it is a release or snapshot, I don't know really. So what we'll do, one thing, let's delete this. We'll create two repositories, two hosted repositories. One is for snapshot and one is for release, because we want to see two. Here is Maven hosted repository, Java underscore release, means this is the release repository, so this is fine. Save it. Next is Maven hosted Java hyphen snapshot. Here select the snapshot and obviously save it. So we have two repositories now. So we need to use these two repositories, integrate with Maven to upload the artifact to Nexus based on the versions, either release or either snapshot, whatever it is. Got it? So that's what we do. Now how to integrate it? First thing what we have to do is, there are two things here we need to do while integrating. So one thing is, you have to integrate in pom.xml. So in open pom.xml, when I think last time I integrated it, it's already there. Let's see again. There is something called a distribution management section which we need to add after the dependencies and plugins. Let's go. I'm just going on line by line. See, distribution management, at last it is there. See, observe here, there is one snapshot thing and there is one snapshot and release, two things, because we will be using two repositories. One will be for snapshot, we don't mix it, one will for repository. So first step in the integration, Nexus integration with Maven is writing the distribution section. So once the plugins, first thing will be dependencies, plugins. Once the plugins are done, add a distribution management section. You can access my GitHub URL also for this. I already give URL, but I can give in the chat. So access this and see how I have integrated it. Or I'll give you the document today. Just copy paste from there. All you have to do is, remember, observe here, we have different two things, right? One is repository for release and another is snapshot repository. Here the ID, you can give any ID, the name also you can give any name, because that's how we identify it. And the URL you have to get it from here. URL here, see, copy the URL. What you have to do, paste it here. Obviously this is the release I copied, so just paste it. Remove all these things, blah 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 blah. Similar way, snapshot repository is this one. Copy the URL, go here and remove this thing. That's it. And that's it. We have now snapshot repository and release repository, right? That's it. That's it. Now save it. Done. First step is done. All we have to do is we have to create a distribution management section. In that we have to define two repositories, whatever we create. One is for snapshot and one is for release. So first step is done. Let's try now. What happens now is when we try, what we have to do, mvn deploy. Of course, when you use deploy, it will do from validate, compile, test, package, verify, all these things. Let's see what happens. Deploy now, it means it has a distribution section now, right? So now it knows, okay, deploy means there is a distribution section, I need to do it, I need to push it, of course. So but here when I tried, now it says 401 unauthorized, because it trying to access the repository, it's uploading, see, but it's failing because it does not have access. So to give access, we need to configure the maven settings.xml, the original configuration file for the application. No, application means maven application. User share maven conf settings.xml. In the settings.xml, there will be a section called server section. Server. I think it will little below only. Let's go one line by line. Now we found our sonar one. See, that's okay. Server section. See, server section. See, server. In the servers section, see, servers. Within the section, there will be called server. Just copy that. Just copy it. Don't worry. Just copy it. Now what you do is paste it. Maybe before the servers end, just paste it. What we have to do is just id keep it as deployment. User Nexus user. What is the Nexus user? Admin. Nexus password. This is my Nexus password. Now I save it, and what happens is when you use now deploy, it will use these credentials. It has to use this credential, but earlier it failed because it does not know what credential it has to use. The hell, let me just copy it. Sorry, I just opened as a normal user, that's why. Let's go to server / server. Yeah, server section. Just keep it at the bottom. Why to confuse? Because you will be confused about these arrow marks, what the hell, all these things. That's why I'll keep it before closing the server section. And save it. Let's try again. mvn deploy. Let's see if it works or not. Still it's failing. Could not transfer 401 unauthorized. It means, see here, there are unauthorized. It means even though we added the credentials, sorry, it's not taking. It's not reading it. You know why? Let me tell you why. See here, how this knows about the credentials what we have added. Sorry. How this knows about the credentials? Nothing, right? See, how did we mention? I think what is the name? Deployment, I think it's a name. The credential, what is the credential name? Let's see. The credential name is deployment. Just maybe change to meaningful something. Nexus deploy. Okay, this one. See, Nexus -deploy. But how this knows? It does not know, right? We have to make sure pom.xml knows about the credentials. That's why you have to do this. In the id you have to give the deployment sorry that server id name, nexus deploy, sorry. Now it will use these credentials to push to nexus, to push the artifactory to nexus. Now it will know it. Okay, id means it will look for the server id, I mean that whatever we have added. Okay, there is something called nexus deploy which has credentials, use that to push it. That is why the id is here, not just for random thing. Name is for this one, name is for obviously for your repo. That is fine. So with the help of id we will do it. Let's try one more time. Clear me and deploy. Let's see. It should work hopefully. See, observe here, uploading to nexus deploy. See, observe here, it's uploading to snapshot. Why? See the snapshot here, because that's the version we mentioned in the pom.xml. See, snapshot. That's why it will go to snapshot repo. Even though we don't mention, we did not mention anything, right? Go to snapshot repo or go to release repo, something like that. Based on the name, it will do it. See, Java snapshot, this is what we have. Let's go to, if you're in settings you can't see it. If you have to go to browse Java snapshot, see, these are all looking cool, right? See the war file which is built. These are all blah 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 unnecessary things, XML data, whatever it is, we don't care about it. But the artifact is present or not, that's our main goal. What is this? Why the folder is created like this? Because that's how the structure is. That's how the project structure is defined based on the pom.xml. That's why it's created like that. That project structure we don't decide it, so it's not our problem. But see here, simple, right? Very easy, right? Now change it. Now open pom.xml. Okay, now instead of snapshot, keep it release. Let's just one validation. Now what happens? It will automatically push to release repository. See here 0.0 I gave, right? See 0.0 snapshot. Now push to release. I mean, of course, we change it. It will push to release. See, Java release. Let's go here, browse Java release. See 0.0 release. See, that's it. That's as simple as that. And now let's say I'll change the version. Instead of 0.0, 0.1 I'll keep. Let's see what happens. It will store as versions, as I told you, just like GitHub source code management. It will store as multiple versions. How the hell I know? First see it here and refresh, or let's go back and open again. See, two versions are there. See, as simple as that. That's how we upload usually, to Nexus the artifacts whatever we build. Now developer, what they'll do, they'll upload the plugins. The dependency is also here. Got it? That's how we use Nexus. Of course, it's not finished yet. There is a class tomorrow. But yeah, so far we have seen what is Nexus, how to set up the Nexus, and how to upload our artifacts so far to Nexus. Got it? Easy. Set up Nexus and create repositories are fine. How to integrate with Maven to upload your artifacts. Integrate Maven, two things we have to do. First thing, we have to open a server section for credentials, so that it can able to access Maven can able to access the Nexus. And another thing is what is this? Distribution management section, where it will use this repo URLs, whatever we mentioned there, to upload the artifacts. So in the distribution management section, in every repository, you have to give ID by default. That ID should be matched with your server ID, which you have added your credentials. And of course, With that ID, it will push it, which we just seen. Without that ID, it will say 401 unauthorized. Got it? So that's about today. So here one more thing is, now I uploaded it. Let's say my part is done. Another developer wants to download it. How to do that? Okay. Upload is done. Now another developer has to download it, right? How it will download? That we'll see tomorrow. So far we just uploaded it, installed it, integrated with Maven, and uploaded it. Uploaded our artifacts to Nexus repository. Tomorrow we'll see download. Got it? Tomorrow we'll see download. Got it? So any doubts so far? Before we close the class. Anything? So if no doubts, yeah, we can close the call. We'll meet tomorrow same time. If yes, if any doubts are there, ping me. I'll be available. Okay. And of course, keep practicing. Happy, I think Monday, I guess. So yeah, bye all.